Hi there, and welcome back to the second episode of Tarot Tube. Woke up to the news today that Doug Jones did indeed win in Alabama, so that was a delightful piece of news. Glad to be wrong on that one. It is important to remember that these cards are not magic. Generally, when I do reads with other people, we're not really asking any questions about the future or anything. We're not asking any questions that the person doesn't already know the answers to deep down somewhere. In effect, I believe that the tarot cards are just an effective tool for self-reflection. So, no new streamers or anything. This is day 2. No questions, so we're just going to make it a relatively general purpose reading, and I'd like to focus on health and wellness. So we'll do the same 3-card spread as yesterday, and let us begin. The Tower. I'm choosing to use no reversals today. So the Tower generally has to do with sudden changes, catastrophic changes. We've got a special guest, Pickles, my cat. The Tower, it's a pretty horrible scene, so this can be a scary card for people to receive, but the fact is that it doesn't necessarily always mean like terrible catastrophic changes. It really means that the change is going to be substantial. I think that that's particularly relevant to our Doug Jones victory. It might, symbolize sort of like a change in the tide, which may have an impact on some people's emotional health, may have an impact on the health of the country as a whole, depending on how certain votes go. So I feel like that bodes pretty well. When we talk about what occurred yesterday, I feel pretty good about that. Another thing that we see here in the Tower is this crown as being something that's sort of like jettisoning out of the Tower. That can often symbolize sort of like a change in the prevailing order. Like changing of the guard, newly elected officials, that kind of thing. So I feel like that's really relevant to today. Not as relevant in health, but this could have substantial impacts for everybody. All right, let's move on to the present. All right, 4 of Swords. Sorry, 4 of Swords is all about. This is one of the only cards that can symbolize literal death, but typically it symbolizes rest. Rest is really important for all of our wellness. I know that personally I've been having a lot of trouble sleeping over the past couple months, and I've been taking melatonin, Ambien, whatever it takes, and sleep is just so important to peak performance. And it's a reminder for all of us that if we want to be healthy, we've got to get some better sleep. And so there's a lot of different things we can do to improve that, other than turning to drugs. Personally, I've found that meditation can be helpful, journaling really helps, tarot really helps, and I think that that's definitely important for our wellness. So keep that in mind. All right. Final card, Future. Let's see how things turn out. Page of Wands. Page of Wands is all about news. This news typically refers to things in the creative world, creative projects, things that aren't necessarily practical but are important to our spiritual well-being. And so I think this one right here is just a reminder that we need to engage in hobbies, we need to engage in creative pursuits in order to stay well, in order to ground ourselves and balance ourselves. Focusing too much on, your job, your your love life, whatever, you kind of lose that sense of self, and it's really important that you have that for your own personal emotional well-being. Uh, Overall, I'm seeing a lot of masculine energies on these cards. The Tower is a very masculine card, Swords are very masculine, Wands are very masculine, while Pages do bring a little bit of feminine energy. And when I talk about this, I generally mean masculine referring to the Chinese Yang concept, uh, external focus as opposed to internal focus. And so I think that the general read on this situation is that when we're thinking about our wellness, we need to think about the things that we do and the things outside of us that impact our wellness rather than focusing only internally. And so we need to engage in behaviors that can be a little bit more helpful, can make us a little bit more well. The problem isn't necessarily something that's inside of us right now. So, that's important to keep in mind. Again, these cards aren't magic. If you're having a health problem, if you can relate, leave me some messages in the comments, and we'll try to cover it next time. Thanks. Have a good day.